Hello, I'm Mickey P. Kerr and I'd like to share with you a story. An amazing friend of mine, Chris Murphy, who suffered from 3 strokes in 3 years. It's been really hard on him mentally, he's had to rebuild his life completely. But he'd like to share his story with you. It's an amazing one and it's about how football has helped him through it, his love for football and of course his love for Leeds United, and how the club has helped him as well. His message is simple: stand up, speak up and ask for help. Chris, you suffered your first stroke in 2014, about 5 years ago. What have it been like the last 4 or 5 years?
Last 4 or 5 years, in 2014, let's say, I suffered a stroke that affected my personality, my daily living, my general well-being, to be fair. And I didn't know I had them strokes until I presented in hospital in 2016 with a severe stroke. I thought it was just a mini stroke and I'd be out in a few days.
So you were unaware completely that you'd had a stroke?
Yeah.
So that must have been quite confusing.
Yeah, when you suffer stroke, it's completely painless. I didn't even know I had one, let alone 2 in 2014. And then on the MRI scan, when I went in with the stroke and presented with the symptoms in 2016, after watching the boys win away at Cardiff, I presented with my stroke. Then they told me on the MRI I'd had 2 previous strokes.
So it's about relearning everything and how to use your left side?
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of it was to make sure my left side was still there, get it cognitively working so my brain could move the left side of my body. It's only literally this year that I've started feeling muscle definition in my left side, which is a positive step. Because when you have it, I don't know if I'm 100% correct, when you suffer a stroke, that part of your brain dies and it relearns a new map, which is essentially what I've had to do.
So like, I've got a baby boy who's 7 months old and he'll be learning how to walk, and you've had to go back to there and your brain's had to relearn how to walk, how to do everything again, I suppose.
Exactly. The last 2 or 3 years, there's just been hospital appointment after hospital appointment. The tests that I've gone under, one of them they put contrast in my veins and just show up certain neutrons in my brain. I'm like, it's fantastic what you can do, but
it's not fun at the time.
It's not fun now.
Not. What's the club done to help you then?
I've got a professional relationship with Victor Orta, but that's developed more into our like a friendship. And he's looked after me. He's asked me how I've been, because we've built a friendship.
What's football done for you?
Football, it's more of an escape over the last 3 or 4 years from
the realities of suffering from a stroke.
Yeah.
You turned out recently though for a 11-a-side football team.
Yeah, Sherborne White Rose have been good to me over the course of the last 18 months, 2 years. So look, one of my goals from when I woke up in a wheelchair was to play football and end it on my terms.
What did it feel like though, crossing the line?
It felt amazing, to be fair.
I visited the hospital the weekend he had his stroke and it was like such an eye-opener kind of thing. Like you don't want to see them situations, or you don't want to see anyone else, especially when it's like close friend. But like, I didn't really think he'd come round to the fact that I'd be walking again, to be fair to you. It was awful to see him like that. He couldn't really speak, or he couldn't do like things for himself. He was getting on his phone every now and then and having a little go on his football scores, obviously. It's crazy in football, but yeah, it wasn't good to see him like that.
Well, the basal ganglia are structures that are deep within the brain. That basically a bit like the back of a computer. You've got the processing unit, which is the really complicated bit, but all the connecting wires come together at the back with the cabling, and the basal ganglia is where it all comes together. Right. So you can have a relatively small area of damage, but big effects. And the cabling for movement crosses over. So in your case, the biggest area was on the right in the thalamus. And that crosses over the pathway, so it affects your left side. So it can affect the face on the left, the arm on the left, the leg on the left, or any of them or all of them. And the effects can be very severe, and at the start people can be completely paralysed. Yeah, rehab, when people have had the tests and found out what the problem is, having rehab is a very active process. And although that's quite a hard thing to hear, it's the truth that We've got really good physiotherapists, and stroke units have occupational therapists, all sorts of people who help them, really good nurses, and they work as a team, we all do. But actually, patients got to, if you like, make themselves better with the help of the team, and obviously you've got to work on, which you did. Yeah. And it's really common that people do well. I think there's a very negative message sometimes, and you're a good case in point that, you know, people, if they work hard with a team, they do really well.
I think football's like got him going again. Like, it's always been like crazy for football, and obviously like Leeds United, Sports Leeds United, and I think that's got him going. Like coming to games and obviously coming with us as well. We've tried bringing him on, and like he's got back walking and doing things he likes to do.
Mind is the leading mental health charity and fights to make sure that 1 in 4 of us who experience mental health problems each year gets the support and the respect. As a part of its charity partnership with the 72 EFL clubs, it's here to say, whoever you support, we support you. Get advice and support from mind.org.uk or the Mind Info line on 0300 123 3393.